Welcome back, guys. Hold on 1 second. Let me just check my audio is the right. All right, guys. Welcome back to a brand new live stream on the channel. I am very sorry I have not been live for quite a while now. I did take a little break. The market was boring. We did have some war fears, and it was ultimately a good time to buy. But I just took a little break. I needed to. I've been on a little cut recently. I bulked up to about 92 kg, and I got a bit too heavy, bro. So then I took a cut for the last like couple of weeks. I've been cutting aggressively, so I've just been out. Took a little break from streaming, but I am back now. We'll be streaming regularly again. And what happened the last couple of weeks or the last 2 weeks? Obviously, we had this Iran-Israel war, which thank God has stopped now. There is a ceasefire, and Bitcoin came down to this region over here now. I do admit that I was expecting Bitcoin to come into this region. It did kind of tap into that region, but I was expecting it to come hit the 200-day moving average and then bounce off there. This was a very likely region that it was going to hit, on this dump, but it showed a lot of strength. The ceasefire happened out of the blue, and the market recovered very fast. Right now, we are above the bull market support band and above the 50-day moving average, which is very positive. Because if you want, when you're above the bull market support band, it means that the bulls are back in control and the bears are no longer in control, which there was the last 2 weeks. Dominance since the last time we've been live, dominance almost or pretty much hit 66% or damn near hit 66%. This just goes to show that if you are an altcoin investor at the current moment, you are going to be very, very angry, frustrated, and that is because dominance just continues to go higher and higher, and it could potentially go slightly more higher, and that is because anytime there's uncertainty in the market, and the more people get frustrated, what tends to happen is, people just end up just selling the altcoins at the lows, and then they go into they either capitulate, leave the crypto space completely, or they just go into Bitcoin because apparently Bitcoin is now the best place to go into, just for like a safety net. And these type of people, when the market recovers again and altcoins start to move again, when we had a little move down here, those same people will FOMO back in, while the people that buy when dominance is up here, they sell into those people, and then the market corrects again. So, I think what we see in the last 6 to 7 months, it is a trader's market, meaning that the people that are trading the altcoins, people that and the people that have cash on the side to trade, whether it's meme coins, AI agents, AI coins, RWA coins, whatever it is, whatever this is what the current market situation is. People are not buying and holding anymore. People are just trading. And when the altcoin pumps 2 to 3x, 50%, 80%, whatever it is, they buy, or they whatever they bought, they sell in expectation that the market's gonna go back down again. Maybe Trump says some shit, maybe another war starts, whatever it is, right? We're in a physical cycle, meaning that the business cycle is no longer in play, because we've had plenty of scenarios where the market should have pumped on business cycle news. So, for example, the last couple of months, inflation came down, but the market did not react, and that just goes to show that we are not in a physical cycle, in a business cycle anymore. We're moving towards a physical cycle where whatever Trump says, whatever news comes out on tariffs, these type of stuff affects the market a lot more than data. So I don't think data is as important anymore. People are just looking at Trump or Powell. That's it. When's Powell going to cut rates? When is Trump going to add more tariffs? Is he going to get rid of tariffs? If a new trade deal happens, the market is likely to rally. If he puts more tariffs on, the market is likely to dump. So that's the current situation of the market. It is a trader's market, and that's why I always tell people to keep cash on the side, to either trade, or just just unexpected dips that you can't control or you can't predict. For example, wars and black swan events, you can't predict this type of stuff. They just happen randomly, and then the people that have cash on the side or keep cash on the side, they're the ones that are going to be able to buy, and then when the market recovers, they're back, or they can make somewhat profits. Let's see who's in the chat today. Brick, good to see you, my friend. Jamie, very good to see you. Mugen, Matt, you are. I appreciate the kind words, my friend. Appreciate you loads. Fizz, good to see you as well, buddy. I appreciate the kind words. Thank you for always being genuine, humble, bro, regardless of the market. You always show up. Yeah, I mean, I have been away for the last week, but those people that's in my free private group, I mean, the private group and in the free Telegram group, I'm in there all the time. So even though I wasn't live on YouTube, I have been very active in both the chats. So Shaw, good to see you. Jason, good to see you. Phenom, good to see you. Complete, Delario, Steve, good to see you, buddy. How you doing? Delario, good to see you, my friend. Like the stream, guys. Yes, like the stream. BB, good to see you. Izzy, good to see you as well. What's your total market cap prediction for December? I think 5 trillion, 5 to 6 trillion is very reliable. I think most of that money is obviously going to flow into BTC, and you are going to get a decent pump in altcoins as well once we get dominance to come down. Now, dominance is obviously in this massive. Let me go on the weekly chart. It's in this massive formation, bro. Like, if you look at dominance outside of this chart over here, you look at dominance outside of stablecoins. What's happening now is stablecoin is already hit 70%, which is at the very peak. I think it hit around 74% last cycle. So dominance, excluding stable coins, has officially hit 70%, which is, I think dominance is coming towards the top. Excluding stable coins, Bitcoin dominance hits 70%, which is massive. That's this is just goes to show no one's involved in altcoins at the moment. So if you're frustrated now that your altcoins not pumping or they're dumping, that's what happened. That's what happens when dominance is at damn near 70% on excluding stable coins. People are either in stables or they're in BTC. It's as simple as that. So you're not going to get massive pumps in dominance in altcoins when dominance is at all-time highs and USDT dominance is showing strengths back up to the upside. So yeah, you have to be patient. It's very hard, but you do have to be patient. When people say when you invest into altcoins, you have to be willing to lose it. All people say this all the time, and the people, they nod their head and they agree. And then when it's actually time, when it actually happens, and you start to realize that when people say this, they really mean it. That people that invest into altcoins, should expect at some point to either lose all their money or whatever it is. Or your coins go down 50-60%, and that's the current market situations at the moment. Although most of my altcoins, with exception with a few, they're pretty much at the range lows that they've been sitting at since the entire year, pretty much. So, which is pretty good because there's some that's in down, but a majority of them I would say is in either slightly in profits or they kind of break even. Do I think it's a good idea to stake USDT on exchanges when the market cycle is over to do so? I don't really think it's a good idea. I know Binance used to do that, and they might offer it again, but you have to keep in mind some exchanges can go down in a bear market, and if you're on that exchange and you have your stable coins on there from all the profits you make this year at the end of the year, whichever, we are going to get a pump at some point this year. We've had a pump every single year. It's just the pumps are not sustainable because there's something always ruining it. We had a very good pump from 2023 to 2024. The people that was around those times made ridiculous amounts of money, and then since then we haven't had any sufficient pumps longer than a month. So yeah, I mean, just wait. You have to, like I said, you have to be patient during these times. It's very, very difficult. So many people are frustrated. You can tell. When people are frustrated, bro, is when they start to talk shit in the comments. Or there's a lot of people like that, but you find a lot of them. They get frustrated. They don't understand how the altcoin market works. They don't understand it's a business cycle. It's not like previous cycles where it was fucking easy to make money. Everything's difficult right now. Most altcoins are either putting in new lows or they're pretty much at the all-time lows. I mean, I can give you guys a few examples. Like, look, Peak is a phenomenal project, but Peak just put in a new low not too long ago. This is just how the market is right now. It was consolidating here since March. How the region just put in a new low. At one point, this went down to like 5.5 cents. So even the best of the best projects are either, back down to their range lows, or they put in new lows. Even Swarms is another one, that's just put in a new low. And this is not a bad project in any regard, but you look at this on the 3-month chart, is it literally just put in a new low. So it held this region, held, and just put in a new low just now. So this is just the current market situation. It's not it doesn't has nothing to do with specific altcoins being a scam or whatever bullshit people tend to say during these times. It's just the current market situation. Dominance is at all-time highs. People do not like to buy altcoins when there's uncertainty. That's why they go back into BTC. You just have to stay patient, because the people that stay around during these times are the people that get rewarded the most. When all the people that they're fucked off now, calling everything a scam, when they come back in, you can use them as exit liquidity. It's that simple. Savage, good to see you, buddy. Did, good to see you as well. Carlos, good to see you. Take a look at PVS, recently added to Google Cloud. Let's have a look at PVS. You did tell me to look at this quite a few times. I did say we can look at it on the live stream, so let's look at it now. It's on Solana, $6 million, $7 million in market cap, 10% volume, fully diluted like most Solana coins are, which is always good. Let's see if the website will load up first. Why is my internet shit? Hold on. I just paid for new internet, bro. The fastest internet you can get. Okay, so I think I have looked into this before, actually. You're right. I have looked into this before. 3D XR, is this the metaverse bullshit? Inverse interactive 3D extra streaming excellence, high streaming rendering power. So this is like a GPU type of project. Okay, all mainstream 3D engines. So they got an SDK as well, which is good. APIs. It's quite niche, but it is quite niche. It does seem legit though. Good partnerships, but it is niche. It's like this is the type of metaverse type of partnership. Okay, so they got Dell, they got Nvidia, they got Tencent Cloud as well. Let's have a look. It seems they got a strong presence in Asia. But this type of project, I'll be honest with you, it does look good overall. Because it's on Solana, it could obviously run. But the only thing I would be a bit careful of is the narrative. The narrative is a bit weak, but it doesn't look like a bad project. I don't think there's a docs team behind it. Let's just have a look. So, sometimes you got to keep in mind, guys, there, although these projects have all these partnerships, if you can't verify them, then it's just buzzwords. You have to be able to verify the partnerships. If you can find tweets of maybe one of those, maybe Intel or Alibaba, any of those mentioning or talking about them, then the reality is legit. But you have to find any sort of proof. You have to find some sort of proof. SKR deleted from he did got delisted from Mexi. The CEO of SKR basically said they are going to get delisted from Mexi, but they're going to be more focused on DEXs, and potentially they are going to get exchange listed at some point. You got to keep in mind, guys, most gaming projects at the moment are either dead completely, or they just don't have no funding. They're not making money from anywhere. No one's investing. No VCs are investing in gaming. No, investors in crypto are not investing in gaming. So a lot of these gaming projects, unless they got some sort of business model outside of crypto, or they got a company outside of crypto, then the likely chances of them, rugging is a lot higher. I don't think SKR will rug because the team is still active. They're building AI agents at the moment. But, anything to do with gaming at the moment, you do have to be very careful. Do not invest anything more than you could afford to lose in gaming at the moment, bro. Look how many gaming projects have rugged this year. I think over 20. The ones that got like 15, 10 million funding, from VCs, they're all rugged because they need more funding to either develop their games, or they can't get new funding because no one cares about gaming at the moment. That's the current issue of gaming. EstateX, we will talk about EstateX as one of the projects. I did an AMA with these guys not too long ago before the launch, and anyone that did buy in this dip, you would have ultimately been up around 2.5, almost 3x at the peak. I think it went up to like 0.1 and 1.6, 1.7 cents on Mexi at least. But when you look at StateX and how good of a project it is for the market cap that it is, because I think at the moment it's around $5 to $6 million in market cap, which is very, very cheap. There's no unlocks for another 4 months. The seed guys get their tokens after 6 months, and the team, which only holds between 5 to 7%, which is quite rare, because every single project that launches, the team holds minimum 15 to 20%. But with StateX, it's different. These guys have been launching. These guys have been working for like 5+ years. This company has been around for a very long time. So, and recently they did have a massive news, which I'll go over in a few seconds. But you look at the exchanges. I have not seen a low cap project get listed on Kraken straight away. Kraken is a tier 1 exchange. It gives people access in the US because Kraken is obviously available in the US. So getting on Kraken as a primary exchange, I think is quite impressive. It shows the legitimacy of the project. This is one of those that I did advocate. The private group guys got in quite early. I don't know what the price it was, but they're up around 5x at this moment on this. If you got in on this dump, like I said, you would have been up around 2 to 3x, which is quite good. When the market is just dead at the moment, getting a 2 to 3x, and it doesn't look like it's going to stop anytime soon. It looks like it wants to go higher, and that is because they consistently do AMAs. They consistently have so much influencers talking about StateX, which just shows how good their marketing is. What they done recently was they had the CEO of Remax. So those of you guys that don't know Remax, this is a company worth approximately $200 million. One of the biggest real estate companies in the UK, at least. And they're all over the world pretty much, but they're worth quite a decent amount. The CEO of this company is joining the Web 2 side for StateX, which means that what this guy will be doing, this bald-headed guy, what he's going to be doing is very simply, he's going to be getting all the properties for StateX. He's going to get, because these guys are like a prop base. They'll bring property, they'll tokenize it, people will invest into it, and then they get like a APY on it every single year. So this guy's going to get all the properties for them because he has all the connections, and then at the same time, he's going to bring a lot of partnerships to StateX. So this is a massive, massive development in my opinion. You go look at StateX and all the people that's talking about it. There's so much influencers. Some of the ones like Miles Dutcher, what the fuck his name is. There's Overdose AI. There's quite a few big influencers that is talking about this, and I think they're going to continue to market this, and I think it will continue to go higher. So, those guys that don't have a position, maybe get an initial position in, so you don't miss the boat. It could continue to go up. If it dumps, you can always buy more. But the best thing to do is get an initial position in, because if it goes up, at least you're exposed. If it goes down, you can always DCA more, because in the grand scheme of things, I think this project will do very, very well. I mean, you got Google, Microsoft grants, 2 grants from Microsoft. You got the CEO of USDT behind this, and he's going to be he's been heavily involved in this project. You got the CEO of Remax now, and then they got a bunch of big partnerships they're going to drop. They do also have another tier 1 exchange listing that is going to come in Q3 to Q4, depending on when they want to list. So overall, the volume is really good. I think this is a project amongst the low caps, $5 to $6 million in market cap. I don't think you can find any other RWA project as good as this. Another decent RWA project, I would say, that's in the same market cap as this is Autos. But look how Autos has performed. This is too niche. Autos is not bad because Alex Becker was shitty at some point, but this is just too niche. The reality is most people are not going to go buy a car with Bitcoin, at least not now, because they might not even trust the fucking place, the platform. And secondly, there's other competitors of this. There's car anomaly, whatever the fuck it's called. But just look how this has performed. It's performed terrible. Hasn't done shit. Ever since we launched, obviously from at the start of the year, Alex Becker showed a little bit pumped. But since April, all he done, it was a 2x. most other RWA projects done a lot more. Bricken done like a 3x. ATR done a 3x. A bunch of other RWA projects has performed way better than this. And you got to keep in mind, the biggest influencer in crypto talks about this and still only done a 2x from the lows. So, and then you got to compare the two, right? This is a layer 1 for RWA with a mainnet. And there's going to be projects that's going to be building on StateX in a few months. The testnet is out. The mainnet will drop in a few months. There's going to be legitimate RWA projects that will be building on top of StateX. This is going to be the new mantra, in my opinion. It's going to go. I think this. If you get in early, I think you'll easily get a 20x on this very comfortably. If you just don't, like I said, get an initial position. That way you're exposed to the upside, but you're also covered. If it goes up, you're covered. If it goes down, you can always buy more. You don't want to be missing the boat completely. I've seen there's plenty of time with good projects. These guys, like when it comes to projects, there's projects that have everything in terms of fundamentals, revenue, etc. This has all three. It has a product. They generate revenue. They have all these celebrities, all these big influencers talking about it. So it is going to pump. At the same time, they're one of the best marketers. Like this, their marketing, I would say, is similar levels to AI tech. They're really, really good marketers. And when you get all three in a project, you have to get something in there because it will do very well, in my opinion. Do your own research, obviously. A lot of people, what I've realized is, is they buy something. I tell people a million times when I live stream, only buy the projects I'm telling you to buy if you have the same conviction. Once you lose that conviction, just sell it and move on. The market's not going to go your way all the time. There's going to be some times where, like the last 6 months, where the market's going to be shit. You can't get frustrated when the market's shit and dominance at all-time highs and start calling everything a scam, because then you're just you're no better than the new people that come into crypto, because that's what they're going to do. So buy something only if you have the conviction, because if this goes back down 20-30%, I don't want people crying in my comment section, oh, I bought the top. DCA accordingly. Get something in a small position in now, so you're exposed to the upside. And then, because if this continues to go up, the reality is most people are just going to FOMO in and then it's going to drop. Anyways, what does a good portfolio construction look like? How many projects and their value? So I would say, depending on your risk tolerance, the best thing to do is get a few high caps, so that way your portfolio is covered. The way I look at it is, if you got 100K, right? So you have to think like this. So if you got 100K, if you put 20K into two high caps that you think can do a 5 to 10x, then the reality is, and then you do maybe you do 30% depending on your risk tolerance. Right? If you got family, kids, you don't want to be taking too much risk. If you're a little bit younger, you can obviously afford to take more risks. That's how it is. It all depends on your situation. But the way I look at it is, if you put 30% of your portfolio, 20% of your portfolio in a project that can do a 5 to 10x, that means your initial position will always be covered. If and then you go 70 to 80%, a little bit more degen to mid caps, and all your mid caps and low caps or whatever don't perform or just rug, just those 2 coins alone will get you your money back, your initials back. So that way you don't lose any money. So that's how a portfolio should be constructed, where your high caps should cover your portfolio. If you want to be more degen, you have to have a few high caps in case all your degen projects go to shits. Then the reality is those 2 high caps will bring your initial money back. That way you don't walk away with losing, because the reality is 99% of people in crypto walk away with fuck all, or they lose money because they either sell too early, or they buy the top, FOMO in at the top. That's how it is. When it's time to buy, people call everything a scam. The retards call everything a scam, and then they basically don't invest. And when people, this is a very simple concept, but only 1% actually implement it, because most people get too scared to buy. When people say buy when everyone is fearful, sell when everyone is greedy, this is a very simple concept, but only few people do it. Just like a few days ago, if you got into a few altcoins a few days ago, on that dump, you would have been up 50, 60, 2x on your investment on the reversal when the war ended, because it was very simple that there was going to be no World War III. It was so obvious because crude oil did not spike. It had the initial spike and dumped. if the world thought World War III was going to happen, you would have seen crude oil above $100. You would have seen the stock market drop 20, 30%, because World War III means the end of the world. If that was going to happen, all of this stuff would have happened. The fact that it did not happen over the last week was just showing that this is all bullshit and it was going to get resolved. And that is how, that's when you buy. And then on the reversal, you put the trades in. Once you trade at your profits, you take profits. And if the market dumps again, you use that money that you put in trades to trade again. And then you use your profits to add to your long-term bags. So that way, the more stacked you are, I was telling people this yesterday. I went so heavy in prop base on the dump that a 30% felt like a 3x. That's how it should be. Use your profits, buy the dip, and then when something pumps, your portfolio will go up double what it did because your bags are now doubled or whatever. Ondo EstateX for bigger returns. Obviously, look, Ondo is if EstateX gets to Ondo's level, you're looking at hundreds of X's in terms of market cap. If StateX gets to $2.4 billion in market cap, you're looking at hundreds of X's right now, my friend. Hundreds of X's. So, it's you're looking about hundreds of X's, about 3 to 400 X down there. If you want more returns, you have to go with StateX. Ondo is going to give you a 5x max, maybe a 6x, because you have to keep a dilution. The one thing that kills Ondo is the dilution. I mean, let's look at Ondo from the market cap perspective and the price perspective, just to give people a rough estimate of how much dilution happens as time goes on. As the markets drag, dilution kicks in. So you look at this now, right? If Ondo goes back to his all-time high at $2, you're looking at about just over 2.5x. Whereas if you look at the market cap, if Ondo goes back to his all-time high, you're looking at just a 2x. So because of the dilution, the reality is you're not going to get more than, I don't know, maybe Ondo goes to $15-20 billion in market cap max, which will give you, roughly between 5 to 10x around those regions. I don't think it will give you anything more than that. But Ondo's a good one because of how big RWA is going to become. Dimas, good to see you, buddy. How realistic is 10 cents for Sensei? Sensei has been working nonstop. People look at price action, they don't look at developments. But these guys have been developing. They've just done a hackathon, which means that the people that there's going to be new tools coming to Sensei. So what hackathon is basically is companies or projects give out money to developers, and then the developers build something for them that is unique. And then the best one or the most unique one, they pay them, I don't know, a couple $1,000 or whatever it is. For Sensei is pennies. And then they have a brand new tool for their product. But what they've been building recently was the AI agent government. So that's what they're working on at the moment, is they're building a whole country, where an AI agent, a dictator or whatever it is, like a leader, that used to be in the past, and how he would manage a country in modern day society, which is a very unique concept. That's what they're working on at the moment, as well as developing the agents, which is basically, the agents are basically made to make your life easier, to answer your emails. Is like I think that's what AI agents should be ultimately, is like a companion or something that will make your life easier, help you out on your day-to-day tasks. And that's what they're building. They've never stopped building, and that's why one of the things, I always like Sensei, and it will always pump. Sensei it will always pump. It pumped from March, April, when the market got a little bit bullish. It pumped damn near 3x, and then it retraced back down to the same region, just like every other project did as well. Minimum dilution. That's why I'm so bullish on this project. The exact market cap for StateX, if you go on Dex Tools, I think it's on Dex Tools. This is the correct market cap on StateX. I'm pretty sure it's on Dex Tools. Everywhere else is wrong. I think everywhere else is the FDV. So I think on Dex Screener, it's gonna tell you, I don't know, like 50-60 million or some bullshit. But this is the current market cap of StateX is $6 million in market cap, and the FDV is 94 million total market cap. This is the current market cap of StateX. All the other ones are bullshit. The correct market cap is 6 million. It's not anything less than that or more than that. Greg, how you doing, my friend? When the market cycle is over, where should I store my USDT? Very good question. What I would do is I would get 2 to 3 cold storages. Maybe you can get like 2 to 3 tangems, or 2 to 3, maybe a safe key, or a ledger. I wouldn't get a ledger, but I would get like one of the other ones, and then store USDT and USDC across all 4 cold storages. Never leave your money on exchanges unless you're doing, I don't know, maybe you're risking 10% for like some APY, something along those lines is okay. Maybe you risk 10% for APY. I think that's reasonable. If you lose 10%, you're not going to die, but you can also earn APY. That's a reasonable way. But I would store it across cold storages. And remember, when you connect cold storages, never leave them connected to any websites. That is how most people get scammed. Never ever click on random airdrops. Bro, when you get into a fucking bear market, don't click on no airdrops. Don't click on no staking. Don't stake. Don't do any of this bullshit unless you're only risking a small amount, because that is how your people's wallet get drenched. Because people make a decent amount of money in a bull run, and then guess what happens? They get more greedy and they go, oh, you know what? I made 50K. Let me get 10%, 20% APY on this. In the bull run, some of the last cycle at least, they were doing some stupid APY, 100%, 200%, 500%, offering at least those much. And the people that staked on those platforms, they got fucking rugged. So some people are gonna fall for it. I can guarantee you. There's always gonna be some people that's gonna get fucked on some staking, some APY platform, whatever it is. Just don't go down that path. Don't get too greedy. You've made your money. You don't need to chase additional money on staking and all this other bullshit, because you're just going to spend 4 years making decent amount of money just to lose it from one scam. So just store it across multiple different cold storages. Did you miss StateX? I don't think you've missed StateX. No, I don't think you've missed it. StateX is very early because it's only $6 million in market cap. Now, like I said, get an initial position, small initial position, maybe like 30% of your overall bag. That way, if it continues to pump, which the chart looks quite bullish right now, if it continues to pump, at least you're exposed. You're not feeling FOMO. And then if it comes down, you can DCA it. That's the best way to go on about something. Never ever bulk buy. Get your initial position in and then slowly DCA down $50, $100 here and there. That is how you DCA. Howard, good to see you, bro. That puts me off. It depends on if you got VPN on, etc. Opinion on the hype. Which hype are you talking about, my friend? Hype as in Hyperliquid. Hyperliquid is solid, bro. Obviously, you're not going to make ridiculous amounts of money on this project, but Hyperliquid is solid. This is a platform that gets used massively. Massive amounts of people use this. Is one of the biggest dexes at the moment. It's not ever going to rock pool, but it's like $12 billion in market cap. So I don't know how much gains it's going to give you. Maybe another 2 to 3x moving forward, but it is a solid platform. Oh, it's not a good investment because you're not really going to make any money, but as a platform to use, it's pretty good. I have tried it out. Thoughts on Humanity Protocol is giving WorldCoin vibes, digital ID. I have not heard of this one, my friend. I'm going to be dropping a new altcoin for you guys fairly soon, a new project on Base. I'll be dropping for you guys fairly soon. I think is a really good low cap project. Someone kept asking me like a month ago, 2 months ago, if I got my thingy coin, if I got my base coin. I have found my base coin, yes. I have indeed. Boys, hit the likes. Hit the likes. I would appreciate that loads. Jamie, I think August is a good bet. And let's go over some of the macro stuff just to clarify what we're thinking. Over here, Powell says that future trade deals may allow the Fed to consider a rate cut. And what this shows is a slow but steady pivot from being hawkish to being dovish. The Fed stuff that says a lot. I think the bullying from Trump is playing a massive role on Powell because this is his last term. He doesn't want to go down as the person that caused the recession. He doesn't want to, he wants to at least leave a decent legacy behind. as the Fed chairman. But we are seeing a slow pivot because there's other Feds coming out saying we need a rate cut. We could cut as early as July. One of the Feds did say that. But you look at the Fed watch, the current situation is, apart from July, is there's a 67% chance that we're going to get a rate cut in September. July, only 24% chance. But September at the moment, from the current moment, the day I'm streaming, this can change. This will change every other day. This will change every other day. When more data comes out, this will get changed. So at the moment, the market is expecting a 70%, damn near 70% chance of a rate cut in September. If not by October, we're more or less guaranteed a rate cut. Some people are expecting another rate cut in September as well, in October. And then they're also expecting, they're expecting the rates to either stay the same, in December, or there's a slight chance they might cut a little bit further. So we're definitely going to get 2 rate cuts this year, with a chance that we could get another one. Now, the big question is, rate cuts will obviously come because inflation, you got to think like this, right? And this is where Powell is playing politics, because inflation is a lot lower than it was last year when the Fed started to cut rates. Last year it was like 3.5% damn near, and the Fed still cut. Inflation, unemployment was at the same level. So, Powell is clearly playing politics. It's very obvious, because otherwise he would have not cut last year, just before the election. So this is what they do. He's playing a lot of politics right now. I don't think it's I don't think it's smart. Bro, get off my channel, man. There's so many clowns, bro. What the fuck am I hearing? Anyways, there's a good chance that Powell will most likely cut within September, and the likely chance is, I think August could be a good bet, just because if we're going to get a cut in September, the market will price it in, or people will front run it. So I think August is a good bet, Jamie, as long as no random bullshit happens. Major announcement, yeah. There's a good partnership coming tomorrow. I can't reveal it, obviously, but I'll be honest with you, but I don't feel confident. Yeah, it's off the list. Off the list. I don't feel confident about tech term. Whatever I fucking got. Bro, Jamie, don't pay attention to those retards, bro. Steve's neighbor. What the Yo, Jamie, that's funny. I'll block that clown, bro. There's so many clowns, bro. Like, honestly, the people are so fucking stupid these days, man. This is why people are broke, bro, and they'll never ever make money, man. It's like all these spazzes, they'll call everything a scam when the market's down. And then, when, for example, you just said, oh, NAI is a scam, right? NAI is a scam. Look at NAI. It's at the same region for the last 3 months. How could that be a scam? And they're still developing. It put in a slightly lower low, but it's more or less at the same region. It pumped 2.5x over here. No one was calling it a scam then. But because everything corrected because of the war, these retards, there's people in this crypto space that only look at 2-3 projects and they don't realize the whole market is dumping. And because they only think that those 2-3 projects are dumping, they call it a scam. Like, these people are actually stupid in the space, bro. This is one of the reasons I don't like doing public lives, because there's so many fucking retards on public is actually crazy, bro. Like, these people are brain dead. The whole market has just tanked, and this guy is saying, "Oh, these projects are scams." It's ridiculous, bro. I think a lot of people got no brain cells, man. It's just stupid, bro. Yo, that's crazy. C, yeah, I traded C yesterday on this 2x pump, and then I actually made some decent moves yesterday. So I went really heavy into C, around 14, 15 cents. After it done the 2x, because I went really heavy into it, I took my initials out, and then I put my initials into Aptos, and then Aptos pumped another 30, 40%. So I had a a decent trading day yesterday, and quite a few people followed me on this trade. So I got into this around 3 something 4 was it, or somewhere around it. Can't remember. It's before you made this massive move, so it was somewhere down here around 3. I think it was 380 something, and then it exploded up almost to like $5. And this is when prop base had his little pump as well. So C is very, very good. 60% of your portfolio. Sensei is what the fuck? Sensei is 50, 60%. I don't think you should go that heavy into that many projects. I think you need to diversify a bit more. If your portfolio is 50k, Alina, and you've put 60% into Sensei, Sensei is a good bet, but you have to be smart and think about exit liquidity and liquidity when it's time to sell. So I wouldn't put that much into Sensei, but Sensei is obviously a good bet in terms of safety and other stuff. But I think it's a decent project overall. But I would not put 60% of my portfolio in one project unless it's like BTC or some high cap. So I wouldn't. I don't think that's a smart thing to do, personally. Maple Finance to the moon. Maple is solid RWA coin. Very good RWA coin. I think it has one of the highest TPLs. Super is about 90%. Yo, got a JV, bro. You're too funny, bro. Where do I see EstateX going? I'll probably say 200 to 300 is possible. I think I think it will definitely breach 100 million in a good RWA's old season. It will definitely hit 100 million easily. I think 200 to 300 million is on the card. If I was being moon boyish, I'll probably say 500 million. But I think that's and I think that's unlikely. I don't even think I would even hold for that long, bro. It looks like it is. Crypto, good to see you, bro. Smash the like, guys. Yes, I would appreciate it if it's looks unalive. Let me see. Munity has an unlock today, bro. Oh shit, it's down 11%. It has this unlock today. Is this, bro? This is what happens to gaming projects. It's been consolidating in the same region for the last 3 months. It had this very nice pump on the game release, came back down along with the markets, and then just put in a new low. I don't think it's that bad, but it's a DJ gaming project, bro. Like, gaming's so shit right now that it's just anything you're gonna hold is gonna keep putting in new lows. Grift has been removed from the platform Coinbase. What do you think about that? When Grift was on, I don't think Grift was ever on Coinbase, bro. Yeah, but you know what's funny? Most of these dons here, most of these guys, they make new accounts. It's the same 1 to 2 guy who keeps making new accounts and coming here to talk shit, bro. Is weird. It's like, I got like 1 or 2 like weirdos that they keep making new accounts and saying the same shit over and over again. I think a few person, like 1 or 2 people really don't like me, bro. It's weird because they keep making new accounts every other day, bro. It's weird. Grift has been removed from the. I don't think this has ever been on Coinbase. Well, I don't think Grift has ever been on Coinbase. But Grift was only a trade. It was never long. I don't think this was ever going to be a long-term hold. I got in around here and I sold around here, bro. It was a good trade. That's it. What the fuck is wrong with OORT? Hasn't done shit. Tanked harder than other AI plays. Nah, that's not true. That's not true. OORT is in this. Well, this is. Well, it depends on where you buy. You look at OORT on the 3 months, it's in the same region. So when you say it's tanked, harder than everything else, it's literally been in the same region since March. So it has not tanked harder than everything else. It's exactly in the same region. Look, 3 months ago in March, it was 4 cents. And then now it's at 4 cents. So it has not tanked harder than any other coin. It's been in the same region, just consolidating. So I don't know where you get this idea that it's been tanking, because it hasn't. It's literally since March, it's been stuck in the same region. I'll give you guys, all the gaming coin, all the AI coins. Look at Griffin, right? Let me just compare it to some other coins. Let's look at Griffin on the 3-month chart. Where is Griffin? It just had a rally and now back down to the exact same range it was in April, March. 4 cents. In March, it was 4 cents, 4.4. Now it's at 4. So there's nothing fundamentally wrong. Most AI coins are in the exact same region, my friend. You look at Grift. Where's Grift gone? Orbit had a rally and is now back down to the same region as it was in March. Look at that. This is how most charts look, my friend. And this is how OORT looks. With these guys are Solana coins, so they tend to move a little bit more, but it's all in the same region. So you might, if you got in at 5 cents or whatever, then you probably feel like, oh yeah, maybe it's if you got in maybe around 5.6, then you might have felt it dumped a lot more. But the reality is it's been in the same region, bro. Look, 4 cents, 4 cents, and it's now back at 4 cents. And the kucoin ST symbol got removed, so there's no, it's not going to get delisted off kucoin anymore. And they've just updated the website. And I think the website looks a lot better now. So this is the brand new OORT website, which looks I think it looks pretty clean. The nodes hit 91,000. So, it is, when you say it's done harder than all other AI coins, the reality is it's been in the same region, my friend, for the last 4 or 5 months. It's been in the exact same region, just like most AI coins. Name me one AI coin that's doing really well. Majority of them are in the exact same region, or DePIN, whatever you want to call it. But they've updated their website. They've updated their partnerships as well. I think it looks pretty good in my opinion. So the data sets, this is where the data is coming from. Data is the new oil. Keep that in mind. Data is the new oil. So, they've updated the website. The nodes are almost hit 100K. The only thing they need to do is just update this shit right here, bro. That's all they need to do. Because the current circulating supply, the market cap right now should be 21 million and 40 million or 42 million. That's what it should be, because they've burned 50% of the supply. But I don't know why CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap just would never fucking update it. It's weird. Seth, my friend, good to see you, my G. Love being on the crazy ride with you and this cohort of crazy ass DJs. Tell us your thoughts on Collat, whether there is some serious pumpamentals in that thing. Bro, the first time I got into Collat was around over here, somewhere around over here, right? It done very well. I took all profits on it. And then I did buy an extra 400-500 down here. I have not taken any profits on this at the moment. If it dumps a little bit more, maybe around just below 2 cents, I think I will buy a bit more. And that is because Collat is a very good project. Maybe I should add Collat on the list, because I do hold, I think it can do really well. And the reason is because you look at RWA coins in terms of on Solana, at least. We don't have a lot of RWA coins. We have ATR, we have Parcel, and then we have Collat. But the best thing about Collat is, because it's a little bit newer, Toli, which is the co-founder of Solana, he tends to show this quite a lot. And the current narrative is this ICP, or I don't know, I don't know what the fuck it's called, but something about markets, capital markets. And this is what they're focusing on at the moment. So this is very similar to ATR in terms of what they do. It is very, very volatile. So the people that invest into this, you have to be careful, because look how fast it moves up and down. Look how volatile this shit is, bro. It had this crazy rally, and then just had this crazy dump, and then is now slowly, showing some signs of a reversal. So it's a very, very volatile project. You have to keep that in mind. So when you invest into this, you're going to be exposed to the upside, but you also have to be able to stomach the downside price action as well. So, but overall, Seth, this is a good project. I do hold it in my portfolio, as it could be a trade or whatever, but I do hold this, and I think it can do very well. It can do very well. I do hold this, but it is a very, very crazy ride. If you are one of those frustrated people that's gay and invest into crypto thing and everything's magical and you're just gonna invest and make 100x tomorrow, but you need to get out of altcoins, bro. All the people that come in here and talk shit, those guys need to get out of altcoins. It's that simple, bro. You need to get out of them. People talking about, oh, Nai is a scam, bro. Look what Nai is building. This is the nexus. There's the continuously developing. I listened to the AMA today for Nai. What they said was their mainnet is launching very, very soon, within 1 month, I would say. The testnet is out, Nexus and the other shit they're building. This is going to be, I think in terms of tools, this is one of the best tools for data, at least. And they're going to get a bunch of people utilizing it. And then once their mainnet is out, the next goal is to start marketing the project, the product itself, and the project. So you're going to see a lot more influencers talking about Nai. You're going to see potentially more exchange listings. At the moment, the team is only focused on bringing out the mainnet, which I think is quite smart, because once the mainnet is out, you can then start focusing on other stuff, marketing, exchange listings, all the other stuff that comes afterwards once your product is live. So yeah, very good project, Collat, Seth. I do hold it. I think it'll do very well. How do we rate StateX in compare? In terms of more gains, I would say definitely StateX. Bricken is obviously, I think Bricken is the best of both worlds, because it's a legit project, but it also holds up fairly well, but also pumps, decent one as well. So if you got into this down here, up here, you would have been up around 40-50%, which is quite good for an RWA project. But this has a solid community. And it has a solid community when you have, over 100,000 people added it to the watch list. That means a lot of people know about Bricken. Pretty much everyone in the crypto space that's in RWA probably knows about Bricken. So that's one aspect. StateX is not too far off that either in terms of watch lists. For a project that just launched, having 21,000 people on your watch list is impressive as well. This plays a decent role, because when the market dumps, guess what? People that have it on their portfolio or their watch list or whatever, they're looking to buy at some point. So that is something to consider. Prop base is one of those where it's obviously a lot safer. I think prop base will be around in the next cycle as well, but it's not one of those that's going to pump 5x quickly. I would expect Bricken to pump 5x quickly, StateX, ATR. I don't expect prop base to move as fast as the other ones. Rio will move very fast, but prop base is a little bit slower, but it has a lot of potential, and you can go heavy on it because the volume is quite good. That's the significant difference. You can store it on one key. You can store it on Tangent based on the BNB chain, but you can also store it on the Alt wallet. Alt wallet is pretty good. You can download it. Aptos, Hyperliquid, move your profits to, if you can get any. Aptos versus Hyperliquid to move our profits to, if we get any, to get some safe gains. Aptos seems underrated. I actually got into Aptos yesterday, Greek. You're in the private group as well anyway, so you should know more. But I got into it yesterday. But I sold it though. It was only a trade. Jay Powell, under pressure from them rate cuts are coming. I think the rate cuts are coming, yeah. But Trump does not let him live. Walaikum salam, my brother. How you doing? USA, enjoy your streams. Appreciate it. What do you think about the Islamic coin? Any good halal coins you know of? Look, in terms of halal coins, is you'll never ever know. It's quite hard to actually find one. But I don't know, man. This one, it does not look like a good coin. I don't know if this does not look good, my friend. I don't think you should look to invest into halal coins. Just ask the team if they, if the team is, ask the team if they're dealing with interest or not. That's the best thing to do. A majority of crypto projects do not play with interest. So you can pretty much invest into a lot of them. Oh shit, hold on. Major news, guys. Just in, White House officially says the US government has an accumulative plan to buy BTC. That is crazy. Watch Guru just posted that. Let me go on my fucking hold on. Let's see if Watch Guru will put the update. This is quite massive news though, on live as well. Let's see if he'll post. There we go. Look, the White House officials say the US government has an accumulation plan to buy BTC. I think this is massive, massive news. That's crazy, that is. Bitcoin bounced on that news. No, it doesn't give a shit. Sakura dead. God, I don't think it's dead, but is in the category of gaming. So most 99.9% of gaming projects are dead. I mean, look at Beam. Beam is one of the best gaming projects in the space, and this is down stupid amounts, bro. Look at Beam. It's basically back down to 2023 lows. So it's not individual projects, it's more the narrative. Ignore the noise and the clowns, G. We appreciate your lives. Intel will support you because you're unheard of in the crypto space. It's not, bro. Listen, I don't have a lot of haters. This is what people don't realize, bro. I have the same 2-3 people who makes the new accounts. So when I block their account, they make new accounts and they talk shit. It's quite sad. I feel like some of these people are sad, bro. Like this, the reality is none of these people will ever see me in life. I'll never see them, but they will go spend time out of their day. I don't know if they're bored. I don't know if they have a day job or not, or they don't have a job, but they will go. And keep in mind, most of these guys are grown men with probably kids and family. They will go make a new account on YouTube to come on here, say some stupid shit, thinking is gonna do something, or I don't know what the fuck is gonna do. The reality is, if you do a live, most people like your live, 1 or 2 people. You never ever just imagine how much how annoying it is for the big YouTubers, bro. I'm a relatively small YouTuber. Maybe 5K of maybe 4K or 2, maybe 3.5 to 4K of my subscribers are from crypto specifically, because I had a channel before this doing other stuff and I had a decent amount of subs. So around 3.5K of my subscribers are YouTube related to crypto. Majority of it is not. So I'm a very small YouTuber, bro, and I get a bunch of not a bunch, but like 2 to 3 retards who keep rinsing, doing the same shit over and over again, making new accounts, talking shit, and I'll block them, and then they'll do it again, bro. Like, these people are so bored, bro. I don't know what the fuck's wrong with people, man. People need to either move on or just, I don't know, go find something better to do. It's funny. The market cap of all nine looks bullish. The market cap does, yeah. Both of them. Even the development looks bullish. Like, for example, look what OORT is. Look what they're bringing out in a few months, in the next couple of months. So we're talking the next big leap. So listen, our community contributing data on the mainstream leading global marketplaces. So basically what this means is, and what they're going to do is, they're expanding into the RWA narrative, and they're going to be tokenizing their data hub. This is the next step for OORT. All the money they make off the data hub will then go into the people who stake the OORT. So if you're a contributor, you will receive the airdrops of the new token. So all the profits they make, or I think it's like 20 to 30% of the data hub profits, will get split into tier 3 and tier 4 members on the data hub. And I think that's very solid token utility. And people that want to list their data or want to collect data, companies or individual community members, their data will get listed, or the data stuff will get listed on some of these massive data exchanges that OORT is operated in. Let me show you guys, like all these ones over here. Kaggle, which is the biggest data for Google Cloud. This is the biggest one in China. Databricks, all these other ones, right? I think this is massive, and I think once this comes, not only is it going to bring more token utility to OORT, because the people that stake the tokens, there's going to be a lot more staking, they will earn some of the data hub's revenue as well. So every month or every quarter, whatever it is, they're going to be receiving USDT and then also get airdrops to this new token they're going to be releasing as well. So, there's a lot of good stuff coming. People don't realize this. They only look at price action when the market is dead. That's what they do. And they call it a scam or whatever the fuck it is, but it's weird. And then they got a launch pad coming as well. So anyone can then start launching data stuff. So if you want to collect data, this could be a job for some people. This is what people don't realize. If you're working for data or you're working in data and you want to collect, something, you can literally post it on OORT, and then you can either reward them in USDT, in OORT, not only in OORT token, but in custom tokens as well. So you can make tokens, put some liquidity in there, and then reward people that create data for you, or generate data for you. So there's very, very good stuff coming. Contribute rewards, airdrop, including future RWA tokens. So there's some good shit coming for OORT, but like I said, price action will catch up when the narrative is there at the moment. And how do we know the narrative is going to come? Very simply because of this. Nvidia flips Microsoft to become the world's most valuable company. So Nvidia right now is the number one company in the world, which means Nvidia with DePIN at some point this year will have a rally because Nvidia is number one, which means everyone needs GPU and CPUs. I've been telling people this for a long time. Everyone needs GPUs and CPUs. And when the narrative wakes up, the DePIN narrative, you're going to see all explode because there's not a lot of DePIN projects in the crypto space that has 100K nodes around the world. That's sustainable, reliable, safe. All these nodes provide security and scalability and all these other bullshit buzzwords they use. That's what it's for. It's just you have to wait for the narrative. All these DePIN narrative coins are dead. They're putting new lows, and this is just how the market is at the moment, bro. And people don't realize this. I think people are just retarded or just very low IQ. Maybe I missed it, but could you tell me your opinion about ICP and Flux? Michael, ICP and Flux are very old projects. This supercomputing narrative, it could come back at some point. And ICP has a chance to do something at some point. But the reality is, if you've been holding this shit since 2022, you haven't made no money ever. You might have made just about 2x here. But this is not one of those projects that's going to make you money. And the Flux is another one. Flux is a good project that a lot of Web3 projects use, and they have a business model, and they make money as well. But if you've been holding Flux as a token, it's done all right. You got in a fair, you could have almost made the 10x. Flux, I would say, is pretty good because not only does it get used, but it also it's also a decent project overall. And Flux is okay, but ICP I would never hold. But like I said, even with Flux, there's a lot better projects out there than Flux to hold. Some fraudster on claiming that you sold your own. Bro, people are stupid, man. Honestly. Do you talk about the Wayne guy? Bro, that's the guy I'm talking about, Mota. That's the guy. Not only he talks shit about me on bro, this guy makes, I think that's his 10th account now on CoinMarketCap. And he keeps talking shit. He said, this is the problem with people, but I don't know what the fuck is wrong with some people. I don't know if this guy is mentally disabled or some shit, or he's actually like stupid, bruv. This guy is on his 10th account now, talking shit about, or saying he's found my wallet and his what's it called? I've sold my. I told him, because I've argued. But the reason this guy is doing this because I argued with him on Twitter one time, and then I embarrassed him. And since then, all he's been doing is just going everywhere, just talking shit about me. I sold my. He's got a track on my wallet. If that's the case, why does he not release my wallet so everyone can see what I've done? According to this guy, I've sold my OORT, my Sensei, my prop base. It's all waffle, bro. And let's say I sold my OORT. Let's say I sold it, right? Let's just say I sold my OORT. Even if I sold my OORT, why the fuck am I still talking about it? I would not be talking about it, would I? And even if I sold it, what the fuck do you honestly think is going to happen to the price? Nothing will happen to the price. Around 50 to 60 million OORT gets traded every single day. I hold 1 million OORT. Even if I was to sell it, I don't even think I can. I don't even think I can crash the price 2%. There's 50, 60 million OORT being traded every single day, bro. This is how stupid some people think. Some people genuinely think that one person can move a $20 million coin. It's ridiculous, and there's no. These people have no IQ. I don't. I think they just talk shit because I don't know. Maybe because I argue. I argue with a lot of people on Twitter, bro, and they end up being like long-term haters. Is weird. But this is part of the game, bro. When you're in crypto, you're gonna have a bunch of two-faced fuckers that's gonna, they'll pay you, they'll be in your private group, but they'll still be two-faced behind your back. It's weird. It's such a weird space, bro. This is why I just want this cycle to be done. And then next cycle, bruv, I'll be on YouTube, but my private group is gonna be a very small amount of people, like no more than 30 people in my private group. And it's weird because like I don't even show my private group, but I come on here for just because I want to help people out. And genuinely, don't show my private group. When was the last time you guys heard me show my private group? Most other YouTubers come on here to only go on YouTube to show their private group. I don't even talk about it, bro. Don't shit it. No one in my private group leaves because they make good money in there all the time. They don't leave. I've had the same amount of people for ever since I've been on YouTube, bro. They don't leave because they make money in there. So, I don't know, man. It's just weirdos, man. Is Gate removing Grift? I wouldn't be surprised, but these Solana coins, you gotta keep in mind, a lot of these Solana coins, they create fake volume. The real volume for a lot of these, fuck knows, they're probably like 100k, 200k max, bro. Max. It's never ever going to be as high as what they claim. 3 million volume. Fuck no, bro. This does not have 3 million volume. It's all bots. That's why all the volume is concentrated to what the fuck is this xxt.com? No one uses this tier 4 exchanges, but all the volumes on these exchanges. So it's all bots trading, but yeah, keep in mind. A lot of volume in everywhere it's what's it called? Every volume everywhere, especially right now when dominance at all-time highs and no one gives a shit about alts, most volume is fake. It's fake volume, not legitimate volume. I think there's a good chance that we could potentially go into, because the reason people can't fathom the likely chances of going into 2026 is because they're stuck on this 4-year cycle thesis that has not been playing out. If we follow the 4-year cycle, so far at least, we would have had a bullish Q1, but we didn't. And then because it's not a 4-year cycle anymore, it's a business cycle / right now a physical cycle. In a business cycle, the 4-year cycle cannot play. People keep thinking that the previous cycles are going to play out the same, and the same people think that this cycle or next cycle is going to play out like this one. And this is the back and forth where market makers will fuck you up, because all the people that was in the last cycle got invested into altcoins this cycle because they thought all the money is going to be in altcoins. But the reality was altcoins have been shit and Bitcoin has been outperforming them by a majority. That is why dominance is at all-time highs. And, and then the same people that's frustrated now, what they're going to do is they're going to go into BTC next cycle, when the reality is you should be in altcoins next cycle, because looser monetary policies is going to be coming next cycle, not this cycle. So when it comes to QE, almost zero interest rates, around those 1% to 0% interest rates, that's going to be happening in the next cycle. That is when we should have been in altcoins. Right now, most of us, being in Bitcoin now is fucking you pointless. Most you're going to get is a 30-40% pump, maybe 50% at the most. That's the most you're going to get. Why is the point of going in BTC now? The BTC was supposed to, your portfolio was heavy BTC from 15k onwards. You would have been doing well. Now it's no point. So you're jumping on a bandwagon too late. That's what happens to a lot of people. And that's what I think is going to happen next cycle as well. Where a lot of people are going to go into BTC, but all the real money is going to be in altcoins, because that's when QE and looser monetary policy and economic expansion will happen. Close, good to see you, buddy. How you doing? What do I think about Octa? I don't really like OctaSpace, bro. I think once DePIN comes back, I think it will do well. But keep in mind, I've been telling people not to invest in this for a very long time. A lot of people was adamant to buy this at the very top. I told them don't buy this shit because the chart looks fairly well. But Since 2023, which is over 2 years now, it went from 17 cents, to a decent amount. So people got over 10x on this, but the people that wanted to buy it was in this region over here, and from 2024 onwards. And look what it's done ever since. It has done shit. And one of the main reasons is not because OctaSpace is a shit project, which is not the best, but it's because DePIN is dead. The narrative is dead. That's all it is. If narrative comes back, Brave, if DePIN becomes hot, then it's okay to invest into OctaSpace. For now, I wouldn't buy it. The reason is because the narrative is not there at the moment. DePIN is not hot. Most DePIN projects are putting new lows. Look at IONIT. IO is one of the best DePIN projects. Look at the chart. Look at the chart of IONIT. This is a company that makes 15, was so far made 15 millions in profits. No one gives a shit, bro. The DePIN narrative is dead. Look at Render. So, people oftentimes they look at individual projects, but you can't think of individual projects anymore. The market don't work that way. The market works in narratives. Look at Render the last year. Does that look like it's a DePIN run? It does not. It's not a DePIN run. IONIT, very strong project, but look at the chart. Aether, same thing. It's the same thing. Look, had a rally and just come straight back down. It's back down to the same region, just like OORT, just like Sensei, just like PropBase, just like all the projects. They've just come back down to the April lows. And I don't know how retarded people are. I don't care. Like, it's your own fault if you did not buy in April and you bought in May. If you bought in May, of course you're going to be down. You're going to be calling everything a scam. But why were you not buying in April? Why would you buy in May when everything is exploding up? You're just, and this is the concept of be the type of people that buys here and sells over here. Don't be the type of people that's scared to buy here and starts buying over here. And then when it comes back down here, you start calling everything a scam. You start calling the YouTubers a scam. These are just low IQ people. They don't understand how this game works. And they need to, matter of fact, they don't even need to be, they need to get the fuck out of crypto and go buy some stocks. This is not the place for people like that, bro. The retards that fucking panic sell in fear and then buy in greed or when the market rallies. This is how most people behave. And instead of taking accountability for their retardedness, what they'll do is they'll either blame the project or they'll blame a YouTuber that talked about it. It's that simple, bro. People are low IQ, man. It's difficult. Is House a good RWA? House is like a fucking meme coin, bro. It's like buy one house equals one fucking, or buy one house equals one house here. It's a meme coin. It's not an actual project house coin. It's literally like one of these coins are going to be worth a house. Like the reality is it's never going to be fucking worth a house. So no, I don't think it's a good RWA play. This house, I hope you're talking about this house, Ivo. Oh, yeah, this house here, right? Nah, it's not a good. This is not a good play. It's like this is a meme coin. It's never an actual coin. It's like a meme concept. That's it. Good evening, Crypto G. How high can StateX go? I genuinely think StateX will go to between 100 to 500 million in market cap. I genuinely think it will do a minimum of 10x. 60 million for StateX will be piss easy. Very easy, bro. And that is because they have everything. They have the products and they have the marketing. They have a little bit of everything: product, marketing, etc. Nah, it's not that IAE, because look, if you look at all, I get what you're saying, but it doesn't matter if it's tagged, as long as it's tagged as a burn. Because what is a burn really? All a burn is they moving the tokens from one wallet and they're moving into a burn wallet. You can't physically, you can't, on the blockchain you can't really burn tokens where it just disappears. You can't do that. What most people do when they say burn is they move it from the wallet, from the whatever it's the mainnet wallet, whatever the fuck it is, right? They move it from that wallet into a brand new wallet and they just name it burn. So what did crypto.com do? Crypto.com moved from that wallet into a burn wallet, and then just a few months ago, randomly decided to unlock the wallet again. That's all it is. Is these burns don't mean shit because it's just moving from one wallet to the other. That's all it is, and that's so it does not matter. And at the same time, they've already burned 11 million. Over here, it only shows they burned 2 million. So it hasn't been updated regardless because they've burned like 13 million tokens anyways, but it just hasn't been updated. It doesn't matter if it's been locked or not. As long as it's tagged for burn, it should be off the supply. That's all it is. Burns, when someone say burns, all they're doing is moving the tokens from one place to another. You can't physically burn the tokens, it's impossible. The shirt of London's worst. But these guys, at least we made it to the Champions League though. Tim, my friend, how you doing, buddy? It's good to see you, Tim. How you been? Hope you're having a good day. GLQ, I think GLQ is decent. I think it'll do well. I don't think it's bad at all. Also, I think wants all the product to be out, Launchpad, compute, chain expansion, etc. to be out at Q4 with the household name and altcoin. I do agree with you. The compute is going to be out in Q4 this year. At the moment, they just want the data hub to start running because they can generate money off that. And then later, when the compute comes out, they're going to be offering GPUs and CPUs. And then I think it will be a household more. 100% agree. 100% agree, bro. It's just a patience game. And this whole shit is a patience game. It's crazy. Are you still bullish on G Swift? Maybe a 30x. Look, G Swift just put in a new low. Look, so it's not, like I said, it's most gaming projects right now are shit. They just put in a new low. If the gaming run comes back, bro, G Swift can do some stupid numbers. Honestly, there are all the buzzwords, all the backers. Yeah, look, bro, this is 10x from here, bro. It's crazy. From the September lows. Most of these gaming projects have just been raped into a bliss. Like they've just been fucking raped. It was ridiculous, bro. I do agree with you, my friend. 100% agree with you. I dumped my sensei. Why is this clown back, bro? Shut the fuck up, man. How is this clown back? This guy used to suck my dick all the time, bro. Like, oh, you're such a good YouTuber, blah, blah, blah. Shut the fuck up and get off my channel, you clown, bro. Bro, I hate clowns like this, bro. Like, shut the fuck up, bro. Declan, how you doing, bro? Nah, I don't think he holds. I don't know if he holds it or not, but bro, some people are just mentally ill, bro. Honestly, man, I feel sad for some of these people, bro. Yo, maybe that sounded a bit crazy, bro. But you know what I mean, though. But this guy used to be fucking on my dick all the time, bro. Now that is the market's down, bro. Like, this is what I'm saying. People will do retarded shit, and then they won't take self accountability. Like, for example, how can you say anything about Sensei when I gave Sensei? I told people to buy Sensei down here at the exact same region here. So you've technically never lost money on Sensei ever. You've technically never lost money, and you could have had the chance to sell up here. You know, you made like a fucking 12 to 15x depending on when you bought, and somehow people will still find a way to complain. It's not like you've lost money on this. If you got in when I told you to get in, you would have never lost money. Bro, these people need to, bro. I don't know what the fuck wrong with this clown. This guy's a clown, bro. He used to be in my fucking I think he used to be in my free Telegram group for the longest time, but now he's just turned into a retard. B. Stan, good to see you, buddy. GRT, bro. Andreas, it seems that you are very new to crypto, because all you're naming is projects from the previous cycle that are no longer, relevant in the current day. So when you talk about ICP, talk about Flux, GRT, these are projects that done phenomenal in the last cycle, my friend, but they're no longer relevant in the modern day cycle today. The narratives have changed, the technology has changed, and people have moved on to newer things. GRT is an example of that, ICP is an example of that, and Flux is an example of that. Flux storage. There's many better storage projects than Flux. So, I would look for newer projects, my friend, newer narratives. Look into RWA, look into AI agents, look into AI, maybe even look into meme coins. This is the current narrative where people are making money in. They're not making money in fucking storage at the moment. Storage is, even though storage is always going to be needed in everyday life, everything we use needs storage. It's just one of those that's just not hot at the moment. It can always get hot, obviously, but at the moment, it's not the play. Is buying Tau, Savage, good to see you as well, bro. Is buying Tau now worth? It depends what you're looking for with Tau. You can never go wrong with buying Tau, because if Tau, it can easily give, like, Tau is a good trade. You go in heavy on Tau. You see big capitulation events on Tau, buy in and then just sell when it gets a little bit, when the market flips. So if you got in here at 200, whatever, right? You could have sold at here for like a 2x. So when you see big capitulation events, you buy the high caps for like a 2x. So what I did was recently I put a large amount of money in C, and then when it done the 2x, I took some profits out, I took my initials out, and I've now got a good moon bag. And then what I do is then I take the same money that I put into C, I'll put into another high cap that has not pumped yet, and I'll wait for it to pump. It might take 2 months, take 3 months, whatever. But if I get my 2x, I've made good amount of money. But it all depends. Like, these are the ones you can go heavy on. Like, you can put 10K into this and then make 10K back in 1 month, because you've seen a big capitulation event, like this big capitulation event, and then it rallies and now you've doubled your money. That's where you play the high caps. That's the best way to, because guaranteed they're always gonna go up. Always, always gonna go up. Nothing will go down forever. This is what people don't realize. You always, even when we go into a bear market, you would never know it's a bear market, because the market will go down, bounce, go down, bounce, and you keep doing that. You'll keep doing that to the point where people soon just have to, they just accept that it's a bear market now, because they've just fucking down 99% on all their coins. That's when they realize, a lot of denial that goes into it as well. I appreciate it, Andy. I'm late to see. In order to have a Sui ecosystem, I hold Hippo, Sudeng. Would you recommend any other? I would say instead of buying Hippo, maybe get into Lofi. I think Lofi is a bit better alternative, but either Lofi or Hippo are pretty good Sui meme coin. I think they're both good. I would look to get a meme coin, possibly on the C ecosystem, because I think C can really blow up. I mean, they've done some phenomenal work. And someone was talking about Aptos. So this right here, whatever the fuck this is called, right? Can't pronounce it. But this exact same institution or company, whatever it is, also picked Aptos as their stablecoin distributors or stablecoin providers. So Aptos and the stablecoin market is getting very hot. And I genuinely think Aptos could make a decent run, because these guys are one of the biggest stablecoin providers in the space. So Aptos can make a run. It just put in a new low right here from, all the way from 2024. It just put in a new low, had a decent bounce. So when Aptos does well, prop base is going to follow suit. Just like, when Aptos pumped yesterday, prop base pumped 33% as well. So you look at a 24-hour chart or 7-day chart, whatever. Look, came down and rallied back up because Aptos rallied. So a lot of these coins, the ecosystem, if Aptos does well, the ecosystem is going to do well as well. Higher high for Sensei in the future. I think Sensei will go a lot higher than. I think maybe it's like 2 cents for Sensei is realistic. I think it's realistic. Very, very realistic. Bro, people talking about I have too much Sensei. You should see how much fucking House of Crypto has, bro. House of Crypto has stupid amounts of Sensei. He has way more than I do, bro. I think he has double my bag. So when people say I dump Sensei, how the fuck can I dump Sensei, bro? Even if I sold all my bag, I probably would have dumped maybe this little crash right here. But when you see other people like, well, there's so many people in private group that hold way more than what I do, bro. You hold Aptos still buy level. I held it as a trade. That's it. Held it as a trade. I don't really buy. I don't want to be holding Aptos long term just because it's not a bad project, but I'm not really. I have my high caps. I mean, I'm invested into Ondo, into C, into Injective. Those are my three favorite high caps. And also I got Tau as well. But I got Tau really early. I got into Tau at $40. That's when I got into Tau. And I think I found a project very similar to Tau. I'll drop it for you guys. I'm going to be dropping a video probably in the next week. I'm going to be talking about two new projects. And I think one of them has the potential to be like a Tau. So I got into Tau around these regions over here back in 2023 when the market was fun. Around these regions, 40, 30. Tau, before he got listed on CoinGecko, was on like it was on other platforms like Dex Tools and all these other ones, bro. And you could have got Tau at $5, $7, $10. It's crazy. Opinion on Jasmine. I think Jasmine's, I don't know, it's not one that I would buy personally, bro. It's not one that I would buy. It's like think of Jasmine as like a meme coin that can pump because based on random events, like I don't know, is apparently supposed to be the Bitcoin of China, but or Japan, sorry, but Metaplanet is buying Bitcoin. They're not buying Jasmine, bro. So Metaplanet is like the micro strategy of Japan, pretty much. They're just relentlessly buying Bitcoin, giving out their shares, buying Bitcoin. It's like a hotel company or some bullshit. But yeah. AMG, my friend, good evening. Very, very good to see you. I appreciate all of you guys for coming down. I think I am gonna get off just because my throat is getting sore, but no homo. I have not been live for such a long time. It's been like a week that my throat is hurting now. Just to tell you guys what I've been DCAing the last couple of weeks, I did buy some more NAI. I still believe in NAI. I think it will do phenomenal. Every single time the market flips bullish, you can always expect a good pump in NAI. So if you got in here, you would have made about 2.5x at the top, and then if you got in here, before, when the market in December, you would have made like a 5x, 6x. If you got in here, like literally 5, 6x. Yeah, 6x. So NAI is never gonna be, is always gonna pump because, and you gotta keep in mind, NAI compared to over here is a much better project over here. And the reason is because now they have their mainnet launching, and then now they're gonna start focusing on way more marketing than it probably was back here. So, don't look at price action. Price action will always catch up. Look at developments. That's it. I think that's the most important thing. Send it in a private group. Send it in the private group. I'll have a look into it. Yes, send it in a private group. I had it, Brad. I had SPX 600. I put a trade alert on this at like 40 cents. It rallied up. I sold most of it around 120. And then whatever I had left, like a moonbag, I sold it around, I think it was close to 135 or some shit. So I held it. I don't hold it anymore. And the reason is because Murad made it very clear that in Q4, in November times Q4, he's going to be selling this. So it's like, what's the point of holding it now when the guy that holds millions, like, I don't know, 20, 30 million in this, and there's not going to be enough liquidity for him to sell anyways. If he's confirming he's going to sell it, the reality is there's going to be, once he even sells a penny, everyone's going to start panic selling. Boom, 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 boom. This is going to crash so fast, bro. It's going to be fireworks the way this is going to crash. I'm going to short the shit out of this at some point. Honestly, bro. But yeah, guys, appreciate you guys for coming down today. I will be live again regularly again. I did take a little break, but we're back now. I'm going to be live potentially every single time some sort of event happens or something happens in the markets. I will be live. We'll talk about it. We'll go over it. But on that note, guys, drop a like on your way out. I appreciate all of the support from all the regulars. I'll be live again soon. Appreciate it all. Thank you. Bye-bye.